right
or
then.
senior editor.
And of course, Shacknews luminary Asif Khan. Hey guys, wow, what a freaking month it has been, especially this last week. Wow, wowie, wow, wow. E6, so many great moments this year. So incredible. Uh, I don't even know where to begin, and we have a bunch of other news to talk about outside of E6. Like, there's so many. It's what a great couple of weeks for gaming. You
When
know,
I was looking at the Suda interview from earlier today, I was just like, yeah, I remember when he was there at Devolver Direct a few days ago. Except it wasn't a few days ago. That was like 8 days ago. Where has the time gone? It's
No,
been so long and yet so short at the same time.
has it
that
been
was
eight
less than 8
days?
days ago.
I think it
Wasn't
was
it?
last
No, you're
Thursday.
right.
God
Oh
damn.
God, you're right.
Yeah,
We blinked and here we are.
I was convinced
It's
that
next
was like
Friday.
Sunday, Ozzy. I was like, that was just Sunday.
Sunday
No.
was an entire day in itself.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Okay.
remember when Suna did the Devolver Digital.
Every time you close your eyes is a secret time skip.
That's right.
Yeah, time is definitely warped in strange
Time is a jelly donut.
strange ways, yes. It's all Jeremy Bearimy. That's all you need to know about time. And just and if you ever see the time knife, it's gonna blow your mind. But yeah, man, where to begin? Asif, you had a bone to pick here with the world's douchiest.
Yeah, I'd like to
billionaire.
start just with a statement, and I think most Shackers and Shacknews would. I think this is an official statement from Shacknews. Hey Elon, stop fucking tweeting, you fucking dumbass. Just stop. Just stop tweeting, and also maybe don't buy a Twitter, cause that meeting yesterday, whew,
What a mess.
Boy.
that was the worst getting to know you meeting ever. It was like, wow. Yeah, let's start. He believes he thinks users should be able to say racist things on Twitter. But Twitter shouldn't promote those things, Ozzy, so don't worry. As long as Twitter doesn't promote those things, don't promote it, Twitter. Don't
it's not
fucking...
like
What if someone?
it's not like hate
them?
engagement has been the primary driver of Twitter topics outside of your follow list for like literal years.
It's not like that's Twitter now.
Yeah. It's like already what Twitter is. It's like Twitter's like, hey, Elon, that's our business model. What are you talking about there? Yeah, so that's fucking stupid, right? Like, they asked him about his if his political leanings would affect how he runs Twitter. It's pretty obvious it will, based on his previous statements about how he would unban Donald Trump from the platform. Part of me, I love my tinfoil hats. Part of me, and Ozzy, I think you might appreciate this as a WWE fan. I wonder if this is all a contrived WWE style heel turn because he wants conservatives to buy electric vehicles.
It's so funny you say that today of all days when like Vince McMahon is stepping down as CEO and all that drama's going down.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, he actually is stepping down.
He is stepping down for right now while the investigation's going on. He's going to be on SmackDown tonight in character, is what I'm hearing. So it's...
Did you read the caveat on that, Ozzy?
Yeah.
Will retain creative control.
Yeah, what a mess that is. That's a whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah, but anyway, like, Elon Musk did an all-hands meeting with Twitter. It was a virtual meeting. He was in a hotel room talking to them about how he does not believe in virtual work, does not believe in work from home, wants everyone to come into the office. But by the way, I'm going to fire about 40% of you. It's like,
don't worry. If you're an exceptional worker, you'll be fine.
It was the most ridiculous thing I've seen. Like, a guy who is literally remotely communicating with an entire team of people, telling them that he doesn't want them to do it. I was just like, there were so many moments during this meeting yesterday where I was just shaking my head. Like, yeah, he wants to turn it into a payment app. That's obvious to me. This guy created PayPal, by the way. So he knows something about transactions and money, and he's obviously invested in crypto. So like, I could see Twitter pivoting more into payments. And actually, maybe that, this company has never figured out how to make money. Like, one thing I want to just point out is Twitter sucks already. Twitter sucked before Elon Musk bought a single share, right? It just sucks more now. That's all that's happened, is that Elon Musk is actually making it suck more. But he is actually pretty good at turning profits at companies, right? So there's a chance that he could actually make money off of this, but everything he's doing is pissing off users, pissing off the workers. We had that video I dropped from Project Veritas in I think it was in our Slack somewhere, where they were showing the Twitter Slack, the actual Twitter employee Slack, reacting to the meeting in real time. So yeah, there are a lot, Twitter's based in SF. There are a lot of liberal people who work at Twitter, right? There's all sorts of people who work at Twitter. But Elon Musk saying like things like racists should be tolerated on the platform, that he described like DeSantis as a moderate.
I missed that.
I really got a vibe for just what kind of customer Elon Musk is appealing to when I saw fucking Mike Pizzagate Cernovich and Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene being like, "Yeah, you get him, Elon." That's definitely the kind of people that I wanna brush shoulders with. Is fucking
those famous
Cernovich and Greene.
Nothing makes me wish I had access to the Jewish space laser more than Marjorie Taylor Greene. I have a replica right here. I have a replica that I got from the Jewish American History Museum.
That's awesome.
It says Jewish laser on it, and my cats love it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, this guy, your cats do not love this guy. I know BMO Sanders specifically has not been a fan of Elon Musk for a while.
BMO Sanders it was just like
it was like a top 10 list of things I wouldn't say to a company I just acquired. That's what yesterday was. And I was just like, wow. And then he replied to that Project Veritas videos just with the one word, interesting. And in my head, I'm like, good Lord, this guy's going to he has a list of everyone he wants to fire now. Like, it was like, can you imagine? Like, he saw that and he's like, interesting. And then today, just today, because of an internal email at SpaceX that was denouncing his behavior, he fired a bunch of people.
Yes.
At SpaceX.
If anything out of these last 2 months has taught us anything, it's that Elon Musk is very, very good at taking criticism and applying it thoughtfully.
No, hey, quite the opposite. And there was a point, and I actually do own Tesla shares in my retirement account still, because I bought them for next to nothing. Mm-hmm. There was a time where I thought Elon Musk was actually a deep thinker who was pretty smart when it came to engineering and putting together cool companies that did moonshot sort of projects. He's high on his own supply or something at this point. I don't know if it's once you get over 200 billion net worth, if that just unlocks some sort of douche nozzle token or something, but he has hit this new level of just D-bag that we never saw Bezos get to because he wasn't that open. I call them the ambient tweets. After midnight Eastern, when Elon Musk tweets, it is by far some of the most damaging shit that he could do to any of his companies. He's hurt the value of Tesla, which is the stock's down almost 50% from its all-time high. He's hurt the value of Twitter, which he's trying to fucking acquire, right? He said $44 billion, $54.20 a share. It's currently at $37 because no one believes him. No one in the market believes that this deal's going to go through because he constantly injects uncertainty into the market every other day. And you'll notice that none of those tweets happen when the market's open. He tweets about it in the middle of the night while he's taking a dump or whatever. He just stopped tweeting, dude. That's so simple. Just stop it. Stop tweeting.
I'm just happy he can't run for president because the last guy that had that pattern, well...
Yeah, we're very lucky that Elon Musk cannot run for president. We are very lucky of that. Good Lord.
And addendum, the whole point of that SpaceX open letter was talking about how Elon Musk is embarrassing and he's the face of the company and he distracts from the hard work they're trying to do, which I've always thought that. I've always thought that like Tesla and SpaceX and Starlink, those are very important technology. And all he's doing is pulling away from the good, like the goodwill that they're trying to establish, the good progress that they're trying to establish. He turns it into like he turns it into a popularity contest, and nobody, and like there are a lot of folks out there that are completely turned off by the idea of like his, they don't care about what Tesla and SpaceX do because all they see is this one fucking loudmouth douchebag making these horrible comments regularly.
He's
I
like,
will say that's happening. That's happening in America more than overseas. I was talking to my friend who lives in Japan. The stuff that he's doing over there is increasing visibility of his brands because they're just like, hey, Elon Musk has said something crazy about Twitter. Every time they mention him in an article, it says Tesla CEO, right? So like he is getting. It's like he's of that opinion that any news is good news, right? And it's not because he has, especially in the case of Tesla, TJ, because it's a more consumer-facing company. He is spitting in the face of everyone who was an early adopter of a Tesla. Because we are left-leaning. We believe in climate change, right? Like, we thought that we were doing something to help the environment when we bought those vehicles. And to see him demonize us, I am not interested in buying another Tesla right now. For two reasons. I think the yoke steering wheel is fucking stupid. And I just don't want to give this guy any money. Like, I think, like, I also have 2 Teslas already. I don't need another one.
He's
but,
like,
yeah, like
he's turning into a QAnon Kanye. Like, he's like, and people, that's why people love it, right? Like, Kanye West is mentally ill. He needs help. But instead, what happens is everybody just watches him, like, light a garbage can on fire or something like that, you know? You know what I mean? Like, people are much more into watching a train wreck than they are, like, seeing somebody get their shit together. And because I do agree, it distracts from all the good work and efforts that his engineering teams and the people like actually trying to make a better world are doing, you know. And like, yeah, when
still, that's what's really troubling to me, Blake. Sorry to interrupt, but like, it bothers me that like the Tesla Model S and the Model X are the 2 best things I've ever bought, ever, any product of all time. Like, I love the products; they're excellently made. They have some issues, whatever, but like really, really good engineering and products and excellent customer service. Like, there's a lot of people at Tesla who like probably feel terrible right now because they're working for a douchebag, but they believe in the mission. You know, and it's like he needs to realize this, that he's hurting morale, he's hurting the brand value in the eyes of the average American consumer, and he's opening the door for so much competition because this is happening at a moment when Ford is investing in the F-150 Lightning and GM is investing. Honda and Sony just announced a joint venture yesterday where they're going to be making electric vehicles by 2025. So like there are so many competitors coming that this is a very strange time for him to tank the value of his brand. Because what is a car other than its brand and the actual 4 wheels it's on? Like, so many people buy cars just because of the brand, right? And he created a brand, which is really hard to do in the automotive industry. Not since, like, Ford have we seen a company get to this level of success from thin air. So it's like, it's so disappointing to see him continue to fucking ruin things like this. And then, on top of that, like, yes, Twitter sucks. Yes, Twitter was horribly managed. They have no idea how to make money, which is so bizarre, because you look over at their competitor Facebook, and they just print money over there. So it's like, it's clearly not it's not a problem that social media is hard to monetize. That's not it at all. It's just that Twitter sucks at monetizing their platform. That's how they got in this situation to begin with.
And it seems like Musk wants to make Twitter more like Facebook. And wants, and kind of, it's like he's almost like, it's like, you know, you talk about him turning heel and actually wanting, like, all of the vitriol that, like, Facebook gets because it'll increase the numbers on the app itself. Like one of the things that he wants here, what is it? He says that he wants at least 1 billion people on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, the fucking pics we get of this guy for our articles are so great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our header image game is like real nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wants 1 billion people on Twitter. You know how many people are on the Facebook platform? 2.4 billion. So even if he hits his number, it's still gonna be a third of the size of Facebook. But I agree with you. I think everything about free speech. He said the lamest shit ever yesterday. I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of reach. And I'm just like, go fuck yourself, Elon. And honestly, as a Twitter user who has been suspended several times for not liking LeBron James as a Laker, and then like one other time I made a joke about something, I would actually benefit from this guy's policies. Because there are things about my account where I can't get verified. I got Greg verified. I got Donovan verified. I got Steve Tominski verified. I got David Craddock verified. But I will never get verified. I couldn't get Prof Robot either. But I tried. But yeah, it's really weird that the things he's saying, like there are elements of what he's saying about how Twitter treats its users that are true. There are elements of that. But the application of what he's saying goes back to your point, Blake. He's opening the floodgates for really toxic people and conservative people, maybe, to have a more prominent voice on the platform, which that's just going to create more conflict because that's all Twitter is right now. It's just people yelling at each other.
I hate it. I hate soapbox platforms. Everybody gets up on their soapbox. That's the thing. I really
freedom of reach. I do not have a freedom of reach right now. I can say that as someone who has like however many followers I have. You get a warning when I retweet you. I've had friends of mine like send me this. They're like, "You've been retweeted by someone who has X amount of followers. Like, do you want to limit comments on it?" Like, they literally ask you if you want to like shadow ban me. Like, hey,
I have gotten that notification from
you
your
have,
retweets.
you have, right? Like, because I retweet you or whatever, and they warn you. They fucking warn you when I
gotten that
retweet.
notification.
So, I am actually someone who will benefit from this douchebag buying the platform, and I use Twitter far too much, way more than a normal human should use it. But I don't even want him to buy it because, like, I know where we're headed, and I fucking hate Facebook. Like, some of my favorite people that I followed on Twitter have already left because of this. And it sucks. My timeline's getting worse by the day. So, like, he is actively hurting the value of the company. And he's going to turn it into this, like, it's going to be a haven for conservatives and crypto bros. That's where we're headed here. And it's already being used by crypto bros. Like 90% of the freaking things on the what
You can't throw a rock without hitting a crypto bro at this point.
On Twitter, right? Like go look at the Shacknews Twitter feed. Every fucking article we have crypto spam replying to us. Like it's already there. And he's complained about bots. I agree with what he said about bots. Twitter lied. Twitter has lied. I think it was the week after he announced the acquisition. They announced that they had misstated 3 years of user data. And yeah, he got all mad about that after the fact. And he was like, oh, I want transparency on how many bots there are. And it's why I think he's going to get stuck acquiring this company is Twitter has a very strange definition for what a daily active user means. It's actually monetizable daily active user. You have to have at least 6 followers. You have to be following at least 6 people. There's a threshold for how many tweets you have to have sent. And then you become that. And if you look at all these bots, they don't have 6 followers. Most of the time they have 0. A lot of the time they have his fucking profile picture and they follow a bunch of people, but they don't have that minimum 6 followers. So they don't count as a monetizable daily active user. So that means they don't count into that bot equation, right? For the spam bots. So I think that it's tricky, but Twitter isn't lying. Twitter is actually telling the truth based on their weird math, right? So I think that's going to be the technicality that forces Elon to buy this company. And as someone you guys ever watch Storage Wars?
I know of Storage Wars.
Do you remember Dave Hester?
That name does sound familiar, actually.
He was the guy who was like, yep. He would always
that guy.
right at the last second, he would bid it up, and he would dump a locker on someone, right? Elon is the guy who got the locker dumped on him. Like, I really feel like he knows that he's paying too much for it, and he has regret. He's like a bag holder with regret now. Because not only does he have to pay $44 billion to buy the damn company, it's going to cost money to run it. And he's like, oh shit, now I have like...
Good thing you have ready, willing employees ready to go. Oh, wait, no, not so much these days.
I'm going to tell you something. I can relate to Elon Musk here. I had a lot of wealth in the year 2013.
I bet I know where this story's going.
And there was a website that came for sale. And they're like, hey, you want to buy Shacknews? And I was like, well, you know, that's not a whole lot of money. They're only asking for a ham sandwich, Ozzy. I was like, yeah. Okay. But yeah, 8 years later, boy, have I spent more than that fucking original acquisition price to keep Shacknews alive. And I know that's going to happen.
Tell you about the back end that it came with?
Oh, they're like, oh, by the way, you don't own Weekend Confirm. But no, like, Elon Musk doing this at this moment in time where he's the richest man on earth, it's very similar to me buying Shacknews. And I feel his pain.
Had a better ending than
well, hopefully we don't know yet. That story hasn't been written yet, Ozzy. But I would say that E6, very delightful week. Shacknews has had an amazing time. Shack Pets is awesome. Like live music stuff. Like there's all sorts of great stuff happening at Shacknews. I'm not. Yeah. But that feeling where after you buy it and you're like, oh shit. I looked at the cash burn at Shacknews in January of 2013, and I was like, good lord. Like, this was a very poorly managed company at the time. Yeah, there was a reason it cost so little when I bought it. And I understand that feeling that he's going through right now, where he's like, God, is this the wrong decision? Is this going to affect... How many other things does it affect?
That buyer's remorse moment where you're like, oh man, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah. So like, it's been this thing that I've just kind of it's been sitting in the back of my head. I'm like, is this the nerd equivalent of buying a sports team? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this like the nerd equivalent? You know, Jeffrey Bezos bought Washington Post. Elon Musk bought Twitter. You know, like, I'm not even close to them in net worth, but I bought Shacknews. You know, like, is this like the nerd equivalent of trying to invest in a sports team? Because I don't see Elon Musk buying a sports team.
I just don't understand why he's so fucking cantankerous about every part of it. Like, that's the word for it, I think, is cantankerous. He is like, he doesn't have to be such a shitty person about all this. He doesn't have to like come down on people working from home. He doesn't have to say some of you are going to lose your job straight up to the people that are about to work for him. He doesn't have to fucking... Or if he doesn't have to take people's articles, crop out their freaking watermarks, and post them as if they're his own thing on his Twitter.
He doesn't have to pin a tweet about replacement theory. He doesn't have to do that. He has so much white supremacist tangential stuff that he's tweeting these days that it's not just, oh, on the line. No, it's like you are quoting white supremacist rhetoric all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he doesn't need to do that. Who the fuck? Like, I tweet this out like once every other week. Steve Jobs never tweeted. Period. He sent some emails, he wrote some open letters, but he never fucking tweeted. Like, anyone who compares this jaboofer to him has no idea, like, what a real entrepreneur is, or someone who knows how to build a brand. Steve Jobs was also a dick, but he never sat on the shitter and tweeted every day about Bill Gates being a douchebag. He never
showed his ass every day.
Yeah, this is the problem with Elon. You're right, he's cantankerous, and it's also at night. You notice it, right, TJ? Every fucking night, at midnight, especially tonight. Friday nights, especially bad for Elon Twitter. But, like, he's gonna do something stupid tonight. It's that Homer meme.
It's like really the follow-up. He's unapologetic, too, and that's part of that cantankerousness. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you took an image from hard drive, and you posted it as your own, and they called you out on it. Why in the fuck would you double down on that? Why would you not just say, oh, yeah, I should have credited them? What do you gain from, like, being a jerk about it? What do you gain from continuing to, like, pretend like you were in the right to do that.
That's what his ilk does. They always double down. Admitting that you're wrong in any fashion is admitting weakness, and they don't want to admit any sort of weakness.
That's
they
it.
always have to be showing strength.
He's stubborn.
Even if they show their ass in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot about Mr. Musk and all of his problems now, but there was so much stuff that happened this week. I'd be remiss if I didn't.
Yeah, we had to get this out of the way though, because fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah, fuck that dude. We're all in agreement here.
Stop tweeting, dude. Just stop it. Put the fucking phone down for a second, man. I'm telling you, if he just didn't tweet for a week, Tesla stock would go up $200. Just from him not tweeting.
I doubt he would ever survive in a nuclear apocalyptic wasteland.
He lives in Texas now.
Segue.
But I don't think he lives in Fallout 5, which was confirmed this week by one Mr. Todd Howard.
It was already confirmed. It was just reaffirmed.
Yeah. I have been joking about this story all week because I wrote it in I think it was November 2021.
Yeah. So no, this is the second time Todd has confirmed this. But it's like, I guess he confirmed the timeline. It's going to be Starfield, then the Elder Scrolls 6, then Fallout 5.
I have a secret for you, Asif. He confirmed it back then, too.
Well, here's the deal. When do we think, do we want taco bets on this? When do we think Fallout 5 will ship? Before or after the year 2030?
After.
2015.
I would say after 2030.
Wait, 2015 is in the past.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I just had a complete brain fart.
Rumpo says 2028. I'm going to go with 2025.
I agree with 2030.
I'm going to say 2032.
2032.
Oh, man.
Or is that 20? Did you mean 2030 also?
Either.
Bob, I'd like to bet 2030 and 1 month.
You just $1 Bob the 2030 number? Yeah, I think 2030 is the earliest we'll see Fallout 5. I don't think we're gonna. I'm going over.
Because here's the thing: you can come up with new stories for Elder Scrolls, and you can come up with new settings for that place. Where do you possibly take Fallout at this point that you haven't already gone, and that you already aren't going with 76?
8 years? You think it's going to be another 8 years before we see Fallout 5?
Yeah, easily, because they have to fix Starfield. That's going to be 3 years of fixing Starfield. And then they're going to release Elder Scrolls 6. Kind of towards the back end of this current gen of consoles, we'll get the Elder Scrolls 6. And then 3 years after that, maybe we'll get something about Fallout 5. Then again, with Microsoft being in play now, because Microsoft acquired Obsidian and acquired Bethesda, maybe they make them kiss and we get a Obsidian Bethesda made Fallout, please, for the love of God. And if that happens, it'll be sooner.
I actually have a setting I would like for Fallout 5. A part of the lore is that when Russia invaded America in Fallout, it happened through Alaska. That was where they breached the country. I would like a Fallout set in Canada because the war had to go through Canada to move into continental United States.
Well,
I think that would make for a fun Fallout.
You just made Bill
LaVoy's
March dream game right there, by the way.
Canadian Fallout, eh? Okay.
Canadian Fallout 5 would be Rumpo plays game of the decade.
The buddyhood of iron, the pal ship of steel.
Yeah, Bill is right. They have had Canada in the lore, and it got destroyed pretty quickly. But I still think that you could set up that setting as the remnants coming from the bunkers, in the waste of Canada.
Yeah, it'd be Return of the Jedi, and the Canadians would be the Ewoks.
Yeah. I would think it would be the cast of Letterkenny rolling around in the Canadian apocalypse.
It would be Canadian Ewoks.
Watch out for the radioactive moose, eh?
There's just gotta be a sorry button.
I like Slime Hunter's idea for a faction in Canadian Fallout, the Syrup Syndicate.
Love it.
Absolutely. No, that was news-ish.
There you go.
People just want to hear about Fallout 5. That's really all the news was.
I mean, there's another sequel coming though that is probably coming sooner than 2030 that I know TJ is very excited about though. You know what that is, TJ?
Mm,
It's
Show it to me.
Dragon's Doggo 2.
Inject it into my veins. You know,
In this game, you
like
play as a dragon's doggo, and you have to get pets from dragons. No,
I
that's
wasn't
not it.
here when Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen launched, and I was shocked and upset to go into our review and find that Sam had given it a 7 because I love the original Dragon's Dogma. It's so good. It's so outlandishly off style from Capcom to have like this very to have this very like European Western action RPG going on with like all sorts of European mythology, like straight up ogres and chimera and dragons. And it's such a good game because of the pawn system. Like you get to make your ideal like companion, and then they go out to other people's games and learn information for you, and come back to your game and like, hey, if you go left on that path up there, you're gonna run into a minotaur.
That how they talk? They're like, Pepperidge Farm knows what's up ahead. That's right. Cookies.
They don't have the Pepperidge Farm
There's
voice, but
some
they should.
Milano cookies over there. If you just go that way.
This has been such a long time announcement coming because like there is a fervent fan base for Dragon's
Yeah.
Dogma, and
even
I'm
this
s-
week, when like we had that announcement that they were doing something, everyone was like, "They're not going to announce a new one."
It's because of the timing of it. Because they're like, are they really going to go head to head with Final Fantasy? So this can't be anything substantial.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there we are. It happened.
None of you guys brought up Final Fantasy for today, but yeah, Dragon's Dogma, like, it came out during that time where the market was just getting saturated with MMOs, right? People were really trying to get their foot in the door with it. World of Warcraft was at a huge peak. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Capcom tried. It's just one of those games, like, it has a very fervent following, but if you don't really know, you don't know, sort of thing, right? Like, it doesn't get a lot of attention or love outside of its sort of cultish following. It's one of those types of games.
Is it like an EverQuest kind of deal where if you try and jump in now, you're just going to get like bombarded with like a bunch of lore that it's just too daunting to start off?
I mean, that'd be a question for TJ.
No, because I started the game in 2020, well after its hype ran out, and I still think that it was a very manageable story. Like it wasn't hard to grasp what was going on. I think it's very clear in both like the narration. I think it's clear in the character building and like the way that you acquire your companions. I really like the way that they present the story in that game.
I guess I could have used a better example than EverQuest. Get myself out of grandpa times and just go with something more contemporary like Final Fantasy 14, which those expansion stories are always pretty. They always tie into the bigger lore, but like those self-contained expansion stories are always just like fantastic to look at, and it actually should be easier to get into Final Fantasy 14 now that like that story's over. Like that 10-year arc is like done, and now with like 6.1, it's like time to get in. We're going into a new direction. So
yeah. So, what do you want from Dragon's Dogma 2, TJ? Curious, what do you want to see them do?
I would like a bigger variety of classes and combat styles because the original, even Dark Arisen, has three core classes between warrior, archer, and mage, and then there are like upgraded versions of those classes, and then there are hybrid versions, which are like warrior mage or archer mage or archer warrior, and they combine certain aspects of them. I would just like straight up new and varied core classes. Like give me thief, give me bard, give me new ways to play those base classes right from the get go. Um, I would also like uh and this is going to be an odd one because the one of the points of Dragon's Dogma is that like you do take on this adventure alone, but you're joined by like these virtual companions of other folks. I wouldn't mind actually having some level of co-op in the game where I can join up with other adventurers and their pawns to
And
take on certain
at
quests.
that point, would it be cool if you could go into other people's games as your pawns, as opposed to just your main character or something like that?
Maybe I would also just accept being able to just like show up in my buddy's game and be like, "I'm here to help you slay the dragon. I brought my boy."
Like God of War style?
Mm-hmm.
Like your Kratos sing it?
Teach my boy to be stronger so that we may go back to our world and adventure better.
Your Kratos is very, like, 1950s. He's like, first we're getting a cup of joe and the morning paper. Boy, then we're going off to war.
Yeah,
Way
but
the
this was
gods
like
of war. Oh.
like this was like a very very. I think it's very funny in of itself that like Square Enix and Capcom pulled this very very last minute announcement out of their ass. Like saved it from their any other showcase, saved it from anything else going on this last couple weeks, and just held two little 10-minute conferences where like, oh, by the way,
How come,
here's the thing that you've been waiting for years.
how come he's not wearing the baseball jersey from the Capcom showcase on Monday? Because that was
That's a good
baller.
question.
That was a baller ass baseball jersey jacket.
He had a jacket on, and they all took off their jackets to reveal these Dragon's Dogma T-shirts. So I don't know if you could have stuffed the
man.
baseball jersey underneath a track jacket.
I was saying I missed some stripping Japanese game developers. That was.
I am saying that.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Oh well. Yeah. No release date or anything like that. It's just being worked on. They'll tell you more in like 5 years.
Hmm.
All right. As we patiently wait for Lost Planet 4 and Asura's Wrath sequel.
Or
Mhm.
Dino Crisis that's not Dino Crisis.
Exo Primal looks so goddamn
It
good.
really does look good.
I am so excited for that. It's robots. It's dinosaurs. It's action arcade mayhem. Oh my goodness.
They have a dino weather report every day in the game. I'm in.
It's dinosaurs.
It's raining dinosaurs.
Hallelujah. It's raining dinosaurs. Yeah, yeah.
I'm in.
Just take that. What was that? The Pointer
It's raining men.
Sisters?
Yes, Pointer Sisters.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I think it is.
But
That's
yeah,
good watch.
even if it's not, the Pointer Sisters are great.
There's so much Resident Evil coming out of that Capcom showcase too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh man, everyone was excited about
We are
the
wrong.
movie.
It is not. It's not the Pointer Sisters. It's the Weather Girls.
That makes sense.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Makes
Yeah.
sense
Sorry.
with the Weather
My
Girls.
apologies to the Weather Girls fans out there and the Weather Girls themselves.
And my apologies to the Pointer Sisters for blaming them for that. I do love the Pointer Sisters though. Like they have
Yeah.
a lot of bangers. You can look them up for yourselves, kids. You know what? Okay, Asif, I know this is exciting news for you. Tetris
no.
Effect connected limited run
I-
games.
I know. I bought it. I'm an idiot.
Dude, considering how much I
It's on Switch though, right? Because Switch doesn't have a physical version, as far as I know.
I got it on Switch.
Yeah.
I bought the Switch version.
let's go to their website. Let's see how much this is.
$99.
Dude, considering how much I just paid last week for their Ninja Turtles Collector Edition, I don't feel like you did okay. Honestly, it's
I already own the game. I own the
Yeah,
game
but-
on Switch.
but do you
I
own
own
it?
the
you
game
can own
on
it more.
PS4. I own the game on Xbox One. I own the game on Epic Game Store.
But Asif, do you own enamel pins? Do you
No.
have a Tramino shaped collector's
No,
box?
Dude.
I did
You
not.
have-
I did not have a touch. Huh?
You got the.
I did
You
not.
got the. They gave Nintendo Switch the lamest shape though. I hate. Like, here's my other concern. Like when you put one of these on your shelf, if the shelf is completely full of other stuff, will it all disappear?
I
It
get it.
depends.
Like nobody thought about this. Like they didn't ask if they should. This beautiful fulls.
I wish I could have picked the shape. Could I have picked the Tetrimino shape? Because I think the L block would fit better on my shelf than this unwieldy S block.
There's
That's
no
what I
T
wanted.
shape. I want the T shape.
I'm with you,
The
Ozzy.
T-shape
I
would
wanted
work
the
a lot
L
better.
shape. I wanted the L shape in red for Switch, and they gave me the, whatever the hell.
Here's the thing: aesthetically, like they should have done 2 L blocks, 1
Yeah.
S block, and then you could have like bought all 3, and it would have
And
all
line up-
fit
yeah, they
into
would have
it would have
connected.
all lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you have to put one of these upside down for them to connect.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell I'm gonna put it. It'll probably go on my desk in my office.
Well,
with
just
all the
make
other
sure
crap.
there's nothing else there. If you want to keep it all, Asif. Don't.
Well, my
I
briefcase is
really
on the
don't
desk.
think it's going to disappear.
Well, I wouldn't take the risk, man. These are giant.
I don't even know if
Tetrominoes.
it's gonna fit on a shelf. I don't know how big it is. I feel like a dumbass. I just bought it. I saw it this morning. I got the link from Enhanced Games. They emailed me, and I was like, "Well, if Enhance is emailing me about this, I guess I should just
should have
give them
given
my
you
money."
dimensions, right?
Look,
I will say that I got this game for free several times. I reviewed it on PS4, so that was a free copy. The Xbox One, it's not free, but it's on Game Pass, so I had it there.
I reviewed the Xbox One. It was amazing.
And then I got it on EGS through my press accounts. I didn't really buy it there. I bought it for Switch already, so I'm buying it again for Switch.
it's an investment in a product you believe in.
I also have the soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I fucking love the soundtrack. Holy shit, is the soundtrack outstanding?
But now you're going to have it on CD. Compact.
Yeah, like what? Who the fuck listens to CDs anymore? I don't.
Do you
I
have
don't think I have.
Do you have a
I don't have a
record
CD
player?
player.
Wait, do you have a
I don't
When
record?
you
even have
go
a record
jogging
player.
and bust
So
out your
how are you
Walkman,
listening
you're going
to
to be
the
happy to
vinyl?
have that CD.
I don't listen to the vinyl. It's still in it's still in the plastic it came in, Blake. Like I haven't even opened it. I have the Doom soundtrack on vinyl. I have Tetris Effect on vinyl. I have all this. I just got like a Red Dead vinyl that was sent to me. I don't have a turntable. There's this old country song I wrote called "I Left My Turntable in Texas," and it's true. Like I don't my Roland turntable sitting in Texas right now. So yeah, I don't have a means of listening to any of this stuff. But
Honestly,
yeah, I also got like a CD. So now I have a CD that I'll just put next to all my other music I don't listen to.
man.
When you bust out your Sony Walkman and go for a jog, you're going to be happy to have that CD.
Nah, Discman. It was a Discman, TJ.
There you go.
I'm renting a car when I go on vacation next week, and one of the features it says comes with CD player. I'm like, cool.
Ooh.
Back to the
Bring your giant case. I have a CD player in my car.
I have a CD player in the Jeep Grand Cherokee that's dead in my parking lot. There is a CD player there, but the battery's dead because I haven't used it in that.
Remember our old high school days when we used to impress our friends with our CD changers in the trunk?
Oh yeah, I have a CD changer in my basement. Actually, I do have a CD player. I have a 5-disc changer in the basement. I don't know if it still works or not. Remember the idea that you needed a disc changer?
I do.
I don't know about y'all, but I was the guy sitting there with my regular CD player and one of those cassette tape adapters.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that. The really awkward tape that had like a cord coming out of it that was a line out.
And always way too much line. Like there was just curling mountains of line.
Yeah. Do you remember the cigarette lighter adapter that would broadcast to like a weird ass radio station that only your car would pick up? Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes.
Those were also very stupid and
I
had
bought so
absurdly
many of
long
those.
cables.
Bought so many of those at Ross.
How did the tape adapter even work? That's a great question by Rattle.
So,
Magic.
yeah, you plugged it into your CD player, and then you put the tape in your stereo, and it would like run the tape and just run the signal from your CD player.
Tape adapter was great for my iPod back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
Because this is before line inputs were in cars. Like it was very much so like there were no line ins. But yeah, that was a weird step between the disc changers were always in the weirdest locations too. They're like in your trunk. So it's like, oh, I want to change a CD. I gotta go park. It's like what the fuck? Like,
all that shit means is you're listening to the same 6 CDs on the whole fucking road trip.
That was the problem, Blake. And that's why I was a Discman person. I went to Japan for Space World. And I went to Akihabara and I bought this it was like a super thin Discman, and it could read MP3 CDs. And I felt like total baller, right? Because I had this like MP3 CD player,
Oh,
and
I've done so many
I used the freaking tape adapter in my car with it. And then 2 years later, iPod came out, and that was the end of CDs.
I'm ready
like,
for iPod nostalgia. Like, can we skip ahead to that stage?
Yeah, I'm ready for Apple to bring back the iPod and like be like, here's a new shuffle. I would buy an iPod
off
shuffle
all
if they
that
made
stuff. They just killed it all off, though. Sadly.
I know,
But yeah,
it's
I would
fine.
I love the shuffle. I would definitely buy a shuffle. I should just go buy. They're probably way too expensive now that they.
And the batteries probably aren't great on them anymore. But
Yeah.
the iPod Shuffle, the one that was like a clip-on thing.
Yeah, it's just like a little square. Those things
I used to clip it. You see this little area here in my headset? I used to just clip it right there, and then I just plug in my headphone and be on my way. But yeah,
Awesome.
I love that product. And yeah, I'm the sucker who bought this today because I love Tetris Effect Connected. I've played it more this year than any other video game on my Nintendo Switch OLED or anywhere. But yeah, I think I have several hundred hours on it already.
It's so good. It's so good. We've been playing Connected here and there too. And
Yeah, Connected is awesome. And I've told Blake this before, but yeah, if Tetris Effect Connected shipped in its current state when I reviewed it, I would have given it a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect video game. But it didn't have all these things. But if you go back and you read my review of Tetris Effect Connected from 2018, I think, like line by line, it's like Enhanced Games just looked at the cons list and they addressed every single one of them,
including the one that said not on Switch.
Yep. I was like, I want multiplayer, I want online multiplayer, I want co-op. They were like, yep. I said more techno. They're like, yep. I'm like, okay, you guys, just stop.
They obviously faxed that over to Japan. They said
They did, and they've been really cool with us. Like we have a pretty good relationship with Enhanced Games. Just professional relationship. But I absolutely love Tetris. I think Tetris Effect Connected is one of the most important games to come out in that generation. It like, I think it won Game of the Year over at Giant Bomb and stuff that year. Like this was the same year that Red Dead 2 came out, so it threw a wrench
for us, didn't it?
It finished very high for us. So I believe it was like me and Brittany at the time where we both voted for it for Game of the Year. Oh, you did too. That's right. We had 3 Game of the Year votes for it. It was a hotly contested Game of the Year that year. I think God of War won.
Well,
I think I might have had it over God of War.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I voted Spider-Man.
Oh, was that Spider-Man? Was that the Spider-Man year?
It might have been the
Spider-Man year.
Yeah, that was me and Donovan. That
the Spider-Man one, not God of War. Okay, got it. But yeah, anyway, Tetris Effect Connected, limited run and limited run just prints money. It's not even right.
Man,
they're amazing.
They
had a pretty good show. They had a pretty good show themselves, last week. But I gotta say, they're going a little too far with some of the stuff that they're re-releasing. And nobody asked for Plumbers Wear Ties. Mm-hmm. And nobody asked for the Bill and Ted collection.
That was the one. I tweeted a picture of it, Ozzy, and I was like, who asked for this?
Man,
no one.
You know what I want, though? I want that Bill and Ted skateboard.
That is pretty cool.
The Bill and Ted skateboard. I bought the trading cards. Because I'm a sucker for trading cards. They had Bill
Can
and
I
Ted
derail the show for a second?
Well,
at least propose a derail?
It wouldn't be an episode of The Dump with you if we didn't derail at some point.
What if I did a dramatic reading of a Facebook comment on our SpaceX article from today?
Oh, God. Are we gonna? How cringe is it about to get?
I looked at it. It's pretty cringe.
Oh, my God. All right. Let's warn our audience. Brace yourself. I'm sure this is something that we do not agree with or condone.
No. We clearly none of us agree with this statement, and it's just I find it rather amusing.
Can I just pre-face palm? Is that okay? I've got a headache. Yeah. I need to rest for a moment.
Let me get in my Facebook complainer voice. Like, what's a good complaint?
I'm already shaking my head.
Shacknews. There you go. Shacknews. There you go. Shacknews. When did you become a liberal gossip rag instead of a gaming-focused platform? If you want to do critical journalism, why not talk about such things as the morality of the movement towards free-to-play, where everything is for sale for microtransactions? If I wanted to hear about people's feelings about the CEO of a company who sells rocket rides, I might go to CNN, or someone whose job it is to speak, with a capital S, generally about the news, in quotation marks. Please go back to gaming. Fire your writers if they can't figure out how to stay on topic. So I'm sorry, guys. You're all fired because of this Jaboofer on
Oh,
Facebook.
jeez.
Oh man.
Yeah, because we're the ones that want to talk about Elon every day.
No one wants to talk about Elon every day. Do you think we come in here and we're like, oh yes, I was like, goody. Here's a really shitty story about SpaceX employees being fired.
I'm not as
Now to go down our list of Facebook articles that are focused on gaming and see all of Justin Williams' comments on that are all positive about our game.
On everyone, I don't even look at our Facebook comments. So.
Oh look, no comments anywhere. Oh look, no comments
Oh.
on any of the gaming stuff. Where are you at, Justin Williams? Where are you at on those? Sorry, I hate to call you out, but here we are.
Oh, he DM'd us 3 times.
Naturally.
You're ruining a community by writing about irrelevant gossip instead of video games. Yeah. Because go read the chatty for a second. Unfollowing and leaving the Discord. Oh no, I'm not even on that Discord. That place hates me. And also, posted a response to
Discord.
It isn't.
No.
It's a community Discord. But he posted a response to our latest drivel.
I'm just saying, if you want us to like, if you don't want to see, don't even read the Elon stuff if you don't want to. But clearly you are reading it, so you can fucking hate comment on it.
Yeah.
Go read our stories like this that we have on the screen literally for you right now.
What if we created 32 hours of fucking content for you this week that was gaming related? What if we did that? What if we live streamed that content 4 straight fucking days?
What if we hosted a 1-hour showcase dedicated to indie games?
What if we did that, Ozzy? You know what would happen? This fucking Jaboofer wouldn't even notice it because he was in some thread about politics in the chatty yelling into the void. But I will say this. Facebook comments make me appreciate Shacknews chatty.
Well, there you go.
Well, speaking of things we appreciate, I'm pretty sure we've all been appreciating the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. TJ, you had the golden opportunity to review the game.
Yes.
You lucky bastard.
Man, let me tell you, man, dude. Okay, first, Raekwon and Ghostface from Wu-Tang for the children. Nothing proves Wu-Tang is for the children more than them being in a Ninja Turtles game. But also our homie Megaran, who's about to perform.
That's right.
After this episode of The Dump is
contributed to the soundtrack.
Yeah, he's got a banger on there as well, and it's so damn good. It's such a damn good game.
I am actually, like, as we are doing this show, just to keep my energy up, I've turned on my Steam copy of Shredder's Revenge, and I have it sitting in the background playing music from my favorite stage while we're doing this.
Keeping you awake.
It's
sorry.
I have a feeling I'm gonna get a chance to talk much more about that review later, but for right now, we did some course correction with the help of .emu CEO this week, because we saw there were some headlines dropped that weren't entirely true. Those headlines saying that there was probably not going to be a chance of too much DLC in this game's future. To which the CEO of .emu said, "Hold your horses there. We never said there would be no DLC. We only said that we'll see how it goes."
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going pretty well. So, I feel like this answer is going to change very soon.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack itself is like number 5 on like the Billboard charts right now for soundtracks. Just alone, and people are very excited about this game.
I just realized I hadn't bought it yet, so I just fixed that. I just bought it.
Where did you get it?
I downloaded it on Game Pass.
I got it on Switch.
Sweet. We're all gonna have to crossplay this game, by the way, fellas. It's 6
I don't care.
players.
Yes.
6
So,
players.
It just feels right to play a Turtles game on a Nintendo console to me. Like it just.
So just so
feels...
you know,
America
the way that the
wants it.
crossplay works is it works between different versions of PC and between PC and Xbox. That's the limitations of the
womp.
crossplay.
When we play it together, we're gonna have to play the Game Pass version. Is basically what you're telling me.
Or the PC version, because PC plays with Xbox.
Steam.
Yeah.
So Steam plays with
10% off on
Xbox.
Steam right now.
Windows, but it's gonna. Is it on Game Pass Ultimate also? Like, can I
Yeah.
download it for PC on the Windows Store?
It is on the Windows Store. Let me see.
I never go to the Windows Store. I don't really.
I only go there, Ozzy, when I have a Game Pass game I need to download from it. But yeah, if it's on there, that's a free. I hate calling it free. It's not free. It's part of the Game Pass, but
Yeah.
Right, because
It's
those Game
included
Pass
in the
games
cost
go
of a
away.
subscription.
yeah,
Yeah.
Turtles.
The only Game Pass games that never go away are basically the first party ones.
Mhm.
Anything else can just go whenever they say so.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Greg. But yeah, so it's not really like full crossplay. Maybe that's something they could
No,
add
it is
later.
On Steam. It is on Steam because
It is on
it's
Steam.
10% off.
I just got it for 10% off on Switch as well. Which honestly, it was like $22. That's kind of an awesome price for this game.
It
So,
really is.
yeah, this is a good time to buy it.
It is a wonderful game, and it sounds like they are open to the idea of making what IGN reported on, and the reason why their headline for that story sucks is that basically
Stick to
leaker-
gaming, IGN. Roar.
the lead of Tribute Games said that if they were going to do DLC, it would take an extremely long time because they pour so much detail into the animation of this game that designing new animations for any sort of costume change would be a very intensive process. That did not exit the possibility of them putting new characters in the game or maybe new stages and stuff. It would just depend. It would just depend on the reception of the audience.
Like, they aren't already working on that stuff. Come on. I mean, they totally are. Like, you don't look at the success that they've had, immediate success, like, huge amount of hype around this game since it was announced as well, and say to yourself, oh, this is going to be it, one and done. Especially when it's a very arcade experience, that means there's only so much to do with it. So
but it also means there's replay value because
Yeah.
you can try to go through it faster. This game's going to be speedrun like crazy. I can't wait to see what the speedrunners do with this game. There's going to be co-op speedrun strats too. I don't know. This game has a long tail, even though it's short. It's kind of like Streets of Rage 4, Blake, where TJ and I beat it on one stream during Extra Life. But that's a game that TJ you probably beat a dozen times, right?
Oh yeah, I've beat it with different characters. I've beat it with different styles. There's this game has it too, where you have a combo meter that you keep up through a level, and as long as you can not get hit, you keep building the combo meter, and it plays into your final score for that stage. And so no hit runs are going to be a thing.
And also Streets of Rage 4 had DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the IGN story was weird because I was like, if Streets of Rage 4 had DLC, TMNT with all those characters and everything around that universe, they obviously are going to have something.
And I mentioned that in the story is that the baseline for this expectation is basically Mr. X's nightmare for Streets of Rage 4 because that was something where they added characters, they added game modes.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff you can do beyond the cosmetic stuff that would still work.
Yep.
Yeah. And one of the things that I noticed about the way they did DLC for Streets of Rage 4 was that they basically made content that was already in the game playable. Where you had the wrestler Max Thunder, that gal, the lady cop, and Shiva. They were already in the game. They just weren't playable. Yep. And you've got situations like that here in Turtles, where there are characters that are in this game that have sprite work. They're just not playable. And so that would be what I would expect, maybe, is that would making some of those characters that are already here into playable entries would be kind of what I would expect.
Yeah, that would be a good place to start.
Is this
but
level
honestly,
April O'Neil's TV station?
It is.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Channel 6.
Channel 6. Sorry.
Honestly though, I want Usagi Yojimbo and I want
Mhm.
Fugitoid as playable characters, and I would love to see some of the bosses come back. 'Cause
Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah.
maybe Bebop and Rocksteady, but there's a few other bosses that are, I guess, like some of my favorite old characters, right?
Mhm.
And like, there's one character that I didn't think was even a bad guy, so I was kind of surprised to see them as a boss.
Like,
I just don't
I'm-
want to give anything up. But yeah, I'm with you, Total Fusion 1. Where did we sign the change.org to have tribute games make a Simpsons reboot?
oh
That
my
would be
god.
amazing.
Right?
Seriously,
Right.
if this studio, if they got to make a Simpsons reboot that's like the arcade game,
Yeah, just give
That
them
might be
all
game.
the old Konami
that might be
bangers.
Shacknews game.
Give them
You
a
have to go
fucking,
through
give
Disney.
them the fucking X-Men game. Give them like
Oh.
this. Let them make a sequel to the 6-player arcade game.
Yeah.
Right?
Holy shit, Blake! You're right. They have this. This is the perfect framework for it.
Yeah, this is your, like, Streets of Rage and Turtles are a great thesis statement to get something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
And like the X-Men thing, you know, they would go like way overboard with the selectable characters. Like basically everyone from the animated series, I bet would be playable.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
realize
something
that
like that.
I realize that our friends at Disney Games have a lot going on, but some free ideas right here.
Dude, Disney, you're fucking stupid if you don't let .emu and Tribute team up to make you a new X-Men 90s. Like, okay, they're making a new cartoon based off the 90s cartoon. There's like a ton of like retro toys and stuff like that that are out right now that are super popular based upon like Hasbro is making a new line of toys that come in VHS style boxes that are all based off the X-Men animated series characters. Like, the strikes while the light, like the coals are hot here, people. Like, let's make it happen. Coil
Hey,
Twitch
what was
bot,
Disney.
We just got a Twitch bot that gave us
100
bits,
bits. What a top boy.
and they're a sub. Are you
Yeah.
really a bot?
I don't think it's really a bot.
I
If
can
you
appreciate
are a
those
bot,
types of
can you
bots.
find like 1,000 more bots to subscribe to us?
Yeah.
That'd be real great.
Also, like, there is no reason for .emu to go this hard because nobody is competing with them in this particular style, and yet they keep improving upon this themselves. Like, there are a lot of things during this review that, like, I felt like I was playing with certain mechanics of Streets of Rage 4, but they were improved, and it's really cool seeing that, like, they don't have like a really big competition in this field to like make these games and like make them so well, but they still keep upping their game with every entry.
So everyone here has played it except for me, right? Do you guys have a main, like a favorite character that you like to play with?
Leonardo.
Michelangelo.
Leonardo,
I've always
Yeah.
played Leo from the start.
you're
But
Leah.
I think I would go Casey Jones for this.
You have to unlock Casey Jones.
Oh,
But-
It's really easy to do though. You just
Yeah.
have to beat the story mode once.
I tend to be a Donatello main. So
Donatello's
I
got
might-
reach.
yeah,
I've always had this opinion about Michelangelo. I think it's really impressive that dude can wield a nunchuck and crack wise at the same time proficiently.
while being as stoned as he is too.
Yeah,
It's impressive. He's always hungry.
nunchucks are really hard to use without hurting yourself. He does it and cracks
It's
wise too.
CBD gummies now, Asif. Michelangelo, you know.
Oh, right on.
Splinter is also really good in this game, and so is April. I love them. Like,
See,
I love the style they gave.
My
them.
buddies in the chat are in the Donatello crew. Yeah, I feel you. It was for me when I was playing in the arcade Aussie or even on the NES. It was like I was either a Leonardo main when my friend took Donatello, or I was a Donatello main when my friend took Leonardo. But
Because
both of them are good.
I've watched too much TV where Leonardo has to hold back because it's a kid's cartoon. He can't go freaking cutting people up with swords. But it's a video game. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The Foot
I
Clan
posted this-
explode. They're robots. That means you can kill them.
I also
Yeah.
posted this on Twitter because I am a wholehearted fan of it. I appreciate Raphael very much because he has a very good German suplex throw in this game.
Raphael, also voiced by the original
Yeah, they
voice
got-
actor, Rob
they
Paulson.
got-
Every one of the turtles is voiced by their original 1987 cartoon voice actors.
I don't think Leonardo is.
They are.
Really?
That was like
That's Dean Venture.
Is it?
Yeah, that's not the same guy as like Stenakopoulos or something like that.
I wrote a story about this. I'm pretty sure it's the they went out of their way to get the original actors from the 1987 cartoon back.
Now, what's interesting, and I say this wherever I go, is that God, James Avery would love all this. He would love the resurgence of Turtles, and he'd be all over these Shredder roles if he was still alive. So, I'm sad. I'm still sad he's not with us anymore.
Yeah. Oh man.
He would have
That's
loved
definitely the original Raphael because I recognize that twang in his
This
voice
is
from
like
a mile away.
this is a ridiculous nostalgia bomb, and the announcement at was at Summer Jeff Fest where they announced the release date was also kind of like a huge deal.
I had a
Mhm.
feeling it was close, but I thought we were going to get like mid-July. I didn't think it was going to be like next week. So that was a great one. That was a great announcement from
It
them.
was honestly it was probably one of my favorite announcements at the whole Jeff Direct or whatever it's called.
Like I think that might have been my answer for Shack Chat, but like there wasn't a lot that got me really excited, but like this did it just because it's like, holy crap, I can get it next week.
Yeah.
Like it's
I thought
its way.
That reminded me of E3. Like there used to be those, and it's out now. You know, like those are fun announcements when they do those.
This is the original. This is the original Leonardo. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sega Saturn wasn't Sega Saturn released at E3 or something?
I remember them making a big deal out of that, Blake, which was why I was wondering about it.
He was one of the California raisins too. I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with anything.
Oh man, you know, nostalgia bomb.
Just a not news story that is a news story. Nintendo not participating in the Summer of Jeff or this week at all.
I'm so used to them just coming out and like having one or two games where they're like, and you can get this right now. Like, yes, all right, cool. And we didn't have that this year.
Weird.
Not going to have that till allegedly later this month.
And who knows if that's true, Ozzy? Like, because there was I saw the same rumor that there was an event happening on June 15th, and then it didn't happen. I think Nintendo sees rumors like that, and they change the date because they don't want the rumor mongers to be right. So even if they were right at the time they report the rumor, because Nintendo Direct is just an MP4 that they have to push play on a stream, they can move the date. You know, so I think that... Yeah, so I think they're like, no. They're like, we're not going to... But I also think that this week, the silence from Nintendo, I think it was a sign of solidarity with the ESA, because they are really the only one left with the ESA. Like Sony, yeah, they're a part of the ESA, but they left E3 years ago. Microsoft left the physical LA Convention Center years ago. Nintendo has a booth. Epic has a booth. Ubisoft and 2K have booths when booths existed, but yeah, like I think Nintendo only was doing these mid-June things because it was part of E3 and they value that relationship with the ESA. So in the absence of it, I think they were doing a solid to the ESA by not participating, which is weird to say because most people hate the ESA. But
Nintendo Japan is set in their ways. Like, it's very hard to change their way of thinking. I will say, though, that I hope this means that they're around for Comic-Con next month, because
there's something.
Normally, when they do Comic-Con, it's a lot of their E3 demos. Yeah. But there was no E3 this year. Mm-hmm. So anything that they're going to have at Comic-Con would be new to us. So I'd love to go.
You would think that Splatoon 3 is going to need some marketing soon. So, yeah.
They announced their summer tour where people can get their hands on with stuff. They're going to have Mario Strikers, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and something else that's already out. Mm-hmm. But nothing on the upcoming.
You mean like Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's several Pokemon games that are in the offing. There's always the chance that, like, to Ozzy's point, like they announced something weird, like a 99 game, right? Because we haven't had a 99 game in over a year. Pac-Man 99 being the most recently released one of those. So like those tend to be, and it's out now, right? We didn't get anything like that this week. There's like all sorts of IP that could be revived. I think, like, I know I sit here asking for an F-Zero remake or anything, but Ice Climbers, I think, are kind of set up for a comeback here. Like, I think we're going to see Nintendo really dig into the well of IP because there's 100 million Switches out there and they have all the nostalgia backing them. And like you put anything Mario out, it sells 5 million units. So like that's $300 million of revenue every time they do something like that. So it just wouldn't surprise me to see some like Strikers is a good example of that. It's not a game that people were like clamoring for, but now that we have it, it's delightful. So I'm wondering what that is like because we are in
a really good IP that it's probably time to bring back. Nintendo Land.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Coincide with Super Nintendo World.
That's what I'm saying. Land. Like, where is that game? That could be awesome. Switch Sports is also a game that's out that's probably selling pretty well.
That's the one. That was the third one.
Switch Sports. Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious what the hell's going on at Nintendo. It's weird. But I also thank them for not running a direct during E6 because it let people watch us instead.
I agree with that. But...
Planning and scheduling the entire run of E6 was definitely like...
Specifically the Indie Direct. We were just like, please, Nintendo, do not run a direct the day of our Indie Showcase. Please. Yeah. And they didn't. Yeah. So thank you, Nintendo.
Nope. Yeah, the Indie Showcase went great.
But real talk. Where is Doug Bowser? Has anyone seen him?
He's in another castle with the princess.
But like, has anyone like legit? Has anyone seen him in the last year?
Mm-mm. Maybe they're hiding
anywhere.
Maybe they're slowly turning him into look like
more like Bowser. Is it like it's like the original Mario movie where they're like devolving him?
I think it's just reconstructive surgery. I don't think they have a Devo gun. Unless Mark Mothersbaugh has been working on something that we don't know about.
I'm just saying, until I see Doug Bowser, I'm going to just claim he's a hologram.
We're talking dermal, the stuff when they put things under your skin.
Anchors?
No. Because you can just get things under your skin put into your skin. They call them dermal things.
You want to do sex here or what?
No, it's just an art thing. Although people have done some biohacking and installed some shit.
Meat hooks? Like Hellraiser?
No, it's more like putting surgical steel balls under your skin so you have patterns that make your skin look different or exotic, I guess. I don't know how you would put it. But yeah, it gives it if people want to look like a dragon or something like that, they can get the installations.
Okay.
I would play a Weekend at Bowser's game, by the way. Rattle on in the chat.
Yeah, Weekend at Bowser's sounds awesome.
Weekend at Bowser's would be a great movie.
Bowser's Fury was great. I think Bowser's Fury was the last time we saw Doug Bowser say anything about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just weird, because it's been Reggie Fest this year. Reggie's freaking everywhere. And Doug Bowser...
I think he's trying to avoid the elephant in the room with the Nintendo labor issues and all that.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that... You're right. Nintendo's been very silent about that. And yeah, it would make sense for the public-facing American executive to say something about it. I've given Tim Cook a lot of shit about that too in the past year. So yeah, Doug Bowser, you might want to say something about your labor issues.
He's been the opposite of Phil Spencer, which Phil Spencer's been everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Phil
threads.
Yeah, Phil Spencer is freaking everywhere. He's replying to people on Twitter. I gotta give Microsoft credit. They're actually recognizing the unions that are forming over at Activision Blizzard before they're even fully acquired. Microsoft talking about collective bargaining with all of their employees is a huge deal for software development. Phil Spencer has definitely been on the forefront of that, and it's just weird. I would like to hear from the leadership at Nintendo, not just the Japanese ones.
Yeah, but the two companies, they're definitely their public-facing image is very different. Nintendo, I think, still is a company that tends to remain focused on focusing on the fun factor of Nintendo and Nintendo games and products rather than getting into things that have some sort of political skewing.
Rather than how the sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's an example of them being mindful of that. Advance Wars.
Yeah, but I think
it's not out. It's not out. It's
Yeah.
indefinitely delayed right now
Mhm.
because of the war going on.
But I think
So, like,
I think that speaks towards them trying to avoid being political, though, more than anything else. Like, they don't want it to make. They think that it makes less of a statement than releasing it, right? You know, it's
but you know,
taking
a lot of
it's
people,
a safer route.
a lot of people like to give Nintendo shit. They just want to make money. If that was true, they would have released Advance Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, so it shows you
I
that
will
they
say
do
this.
care a little bit about.
yeah.
I guess you're right. They care more about the messaging than they do maybe their employees.
I
quite
will say
possible.
this. I think Gossif brought up sort of like gleaned in an interesting point a moment ago. Is that like when Reggie Fils-Aimé was the head honcho of Nintendo of America, he was so forward facing and so active and so regular. Like it wasn't that Iwata or Miyamoto were quiet. It's that Reggie Fils-Aimé was super loud. In this era, I've heard more from Furukawa than I have from Doug Bowser by by leagues at this point. Like Furukawa's actually been kind of more forward facing as opposed to Doug Bowser, who took over the reins from freaking Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Yeah, like he's you know, they could have done something with Switch Sports, right? Switch Sports has an online component. You could have had Doug Bowser playing Furukawa in that.
Remember when
And
Reggie used to play these games?
yeah, Reggie would play games. And that's what I think.
Reggie played Runbow.
Yeah. Reggie would actually demo games, and we have not seen Doug Bowser demo a single game. What I'm
Yeah.
really getting at, folks, is that I want to be the president of Nintendo of America. They should fire Doug Bowser and hire me. That's all I'm saying.
That
I'll play
was the
video
punchline we
games.
were waiting for.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Is this
So
like something
if
we
I
could
ever
vote? Can we vote you in? Would we like
No.
do a random ballot?
No, it's gonna have to be a brute force attempt.
Alright.
I'm not entirely sure how we'll do it. Like you said, he's in a castle that we don't even know which castle it is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a problem.
Has to be a bloodless coup, all smothering.
Wait, so I don't.
Was that
Oh,
the
okay.
Mario Maker
Bloodless. Okay, yeah, that's a whole. We're gonna have to redo the whole plan then, Blake. I wasn't.
Oh no.
You know, I thought my Mario Maker levels were training me for this, but I guess I was wrong.
It might be if we have to actually physically break in and like there's a bunch of lava pits. You have to like
Yeah.
jump off of Yoshi and like spin.
You know that
jump.
hallway they wouldn't let us go down at Nintendo of America headquarters? That's where we were supposed to go.
There's a castle in there.
Mhm.
Our castle.
I love that there was a Wii U in their lobby.
Remember
So I'll
that.
point that out. The
I
goat.
mean, they can't erase their history.
Well, we got a few other things I know we want to hit before we run out of time.
What are these things?
Apparently TJ thinks it's important that we talk about Warcraft 3 Reforged.
No.
This
No.
was funny. This was really,
Next.
really funny.
This was like, I'm like,
How in the holy hell
Next.
do you wait 2 years to add ranked to Warcraft 3?
that was the funniest thing about this story is TJ's like, well, it came out earlier this year. I'm like, no, TJ, this came out 2 years ago.
Next.
Oh my god. How
I'm
do you
hitting the
not
next
understand
button.
your product so much?
Have you met Activision Blizzard's leadership?
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Are we really that surprised that morale is this low at Blizzard that they're like, I don't know. Maybe
This
we
was
can add rank.
before this game came out before COVID lockdown. That's how long ago this was.
Fucking Vicarious Visions died for this fucking game.
Man, don't make me sad, TJ.
Ugh.
We're never gonna get We're never gonna get the equals 3 DLC for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2, are we? We're never gonna get it.
No.
It's sitting there.
Visions.
It's sitting there. It's just right there. Equals 3.
Yeah.
Equals 3. It would be
1 + 2
perfect.
equals
Instead, no, let's add this to this game everyone fucking hates. It was like the worst. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah,
Like,
now
why?
Vicarious Visions
Why?
employees are chained to the desks that Blizzard employees used to be stuck at,
not
trying
right.
to make this game into something that trying to
It's
make
not
this
right.
game into a
They
proper game.
They finally made a good Tony Hawk game. They
Yeah,
made a good one.
Greg's in chat saying RTS is dead. Long live MOBA. Hey, Greg, when was the last Heroes of the Storm update?
Oh god.
Greg has a Warcraft 3 tattoo.
He does. He showed it to me last week.
Whoa!
Hey there.
Wow!
Oh,
So you guys got super intimate. at Summer Game
I knew
Fest.
you guys missed each other. It's been a minute, but
It's been a long time, man.
yeah.
Is it a tramp stamp? It's a tramp stamp.
Now I feel like Greg has to come in and defend
Oh
himself.
my goodness! Oh man! Oh man!
Holy shit!
Oh man!
That's not nice. Greg's out here to defend himself.
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's hilarious. I know it's not, but
Wow.
that's hilarious.
No, it's great. That
Oh
was
my
great.
god. Oh my god. Greg didn't deserve that. It's funny.
You really did it. You guys are messed up.
That was a good one. I don't know. I need a minute after that. Wow. Wow.
Oh.
That's
It's time to move on.
I love you,
clip
Greg.
that. Clip that
I love
highlight
you,
of
Greg.
my day right there. Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
Holy
Holy
shit, man.
Yeah, by the way, any of the edited stuff you've seen here, outside of some panels, Greg edited for
Yeah.
E6. So
Greg
shout
is
out
the
to Greg.
champion. He's the champion of E6.
Yeah,
I
he is.
Dude,
And he
Greg-
ran our stream yesterday.
Yeah. Let me just say this, Greg, like, he was working his ass off getting all of the pre-recorded shit done for the for E6 week while we were dealing with Summer of Games week, and Greg
He
actually
literally
went to LA.
on assignment. Yeah, he went
Yeah.
down to LA with Ozzy.
He was in the trench. We're going to have a lot of those interviews going up in the next week, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
because Greg hasn't been editing enough stuff lately. We wanted to make sure he had more stuff to edit. But no, he's been doing an incredible job, and now maybe he'll be able to afford that tattoo removal surgery to get rid of
Or
that.
he'll download this
That's up.
update and be one
Yeah.
of the 4 people playing.
He has a
it.
good tattoo.
There we
You
go.
show it to me. It's badass.
No, Greg's
Yeah.
doing great.
I believe it.
Greg's doing great. No, we like shout outs to Greg Berkelton Burke, the video jerk, for just fucking rocking it the last few weeks. Oh, he's
He said,
downloading the
I'm
update.
downloading the update.
Like,
I know you are.
Like he hasn't gotten it yet. Oh, well, at least there's a little something for Greg. This little story will be for Gregums. That's for you, Greg. Covered one of your Warcraft games.
What else you got?
Oh man, let's talk about Street Fighter 6. Something people
Yeah.
are actually interested
Yay!
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, so according to this story by TJ, Street Fighter 6's rollback netcode won't be the same system as Street Fighter 5, right?
I would hope not.
This requires some context. So, in near the end of Street Fighter V's cycle, the Capcom finally announced that they would be implementing rollback. However, it was sloppily and shoddily implemented to the point where it made no difference.
Schloppodily?
shocking.
It
That's
was
shocking.
not built for it was not built for this game. It wasn't built for Street Fighter V. It was just sort of tacked on, and it didn't fix anything, and in fact
I'm
it made
shocked.
things worse.
I'm shocked that something Street Fighter V related was slapdash and incomplete. Just shocked.
It's a story
Yeah.
of that generation.
I am just shocked. Based on that super competent launch of the game, the great first year.
This was in season 4 though. This was when
I
they
know.
theoretically figured it out.
I know. I'm just not surprised.
It was so disappointing because there's no reason to not be excited if Street Fighter V gets proper rollback, but they just didn't put it in a good way. They didn't create it for that game. They didn't implement it properly, which from what I understand, from what a lot of fighting game developers have told us, it's very hard to implement rollback if you don't build it into the system from the ground up. Yeah.
Yep.
Hence
And
why
that's when-
Nintendo doesn't even bother with Smash.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so important that they replace that system entirely from the get-go for Street Fighter 6, because that means that it might actually work.
hmm And they also announced it's coming to Xbox. So
Mhm.
you're gonna want.
It's not console
some-
exclusive anymore.
Is it crossplay also? They kind of
Yes.
dancing around. Yeah. So crossplay, Xbox, PS, and PC,
And
Mhm.
Guile.
and they fixed the logo. Pretty
Yeah,
great
they
couple.
realize they have catching up to do with a
Yep.
lot of people.
Pretty great couple of weeks here. And then they gave us Guile, who looks amazing.
Who looks
He-
jacked?
Yeah.
I really wish they
When
had
I
gone
saw-
with more of like a diners, drive-ins, and dives sort of look for him. Like make him Guile Fieri. You know?
I
feel
will
like
say
that's a
this.
missed opportunity.
When I saw his new look, I wanted to know where he was on January 6th.
Oh, because he's got the Canadian tuxedo going on here.
No, because when he puts his sunglasses on, he looks like every single avatar you've ever seen in a MAGA thread, telling you why you're wrong for being liberal,
Man,
and that the election was a lie.
Everyone else chads in that game.
man, is that like is his new ultimate, the QAnon double kick flip or something?
No, man.
No, I don't think Guile is like
Guile's
that.
an American hero, man.
First of all, he works with Chun-Li, to stop M. Bison in just about every single, like, Street Fighter backstory, whether you're talking, like, the 80s movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, the animated movie, or, like, the animated TV series.
Yeah,
Like,
he saved the
yeah.
world from Raul Julia.
So,
Yeah.
TJ, I watched the FGC panel yesterday where you were interviewing Rick and Jabali, just talking about esports in general. You guys talked about Street Fighter 6 a little bit there. It's coming out on PS4.
Yeah, it's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, and will feature crossplay between the generations.
I want to bring up another game that did a similar thing, Halo Infinite.
Uh-huh.
And I feel that when you support that legacy content like that you kind of hamstring the current gen game experience. Are you at all worried about that? Like the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and the PC versions may be lacking because they have to support 8-year-old hardware?
No, because fighting games don't require as much resources as Halo does.
Sure.
Like Halo is it's a 60 gigabyte game, I do believe.
Yeah.
And I think that Street Fighter is kind of a hefty download too. However, you don't need as many resources when you're putting that on a screen.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a much more like the strength of the fighting game genre is that you only have to pack so much into just like a straight up screen of two people in a background.
Yeah, I guess my fear is that like you have these new consoles, right? And they're like they all boast like their solid state M2 storage and how it makes everything better in life.
Yeah.
If you have to support PS4 storage and Xbox One storage and regular hard drives on PC, I worry like that we're not going to get the benefits of these things, the hardware, because you have to make software for a spec that's like 8 years old. That's my only concern, really.
Yeah.
But, and that it may create even more development hell for them because of that. Especially if you're doing cross-gen and cross-play. Like, I think you're creating new issues to deal with. Not saying that it doesn't look good. I think the game looks very good. Everything we've seen looks pretty great. Ozzy, do you know what you were playing the demo on at Summer Jeff Fest?
I don't remember off the top of my head. But
I heard it was PCs.
Yeah, I think it was PCs. It was
I will say this. My greater concern about what platform it's being made for would apply more to the single player experience where they're building that open world thing.
Yeah.
That seems like a place where performance could suffer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the fights will be fine because Guilty Gear Strive is also on PS4 and PS5, and it's gorgeous on PS4 and PS5.
Okay.
Where you see the most difference between the hardware is in load times. I know when I'm playing against someone on PS4 because it takes longer for a match to load.
That makes sense.
Whereas when I'm playing against someone on a PS5, it will just be like it shows the load screen and then it jumps right into the match.
That makes sense. That's kind of the experience that I would have if I was playing Street Fighter on a PC with a regular moving parts hard drive versus M2. So I get that point. That load times are probably the one place where you would notice it most. Well, it'll probably work out well for them. I understand why they're doing it from a business standpoint. There's over 100 million PS4s out there. There's like 12 million PS5s.
Yeah, and like Jabali said, it's also a logistics thing. PS4s are much easier to set up and carry around and package than PS5s.
That's true.
Like,
The sheer volume of the PS5.
the PS5 is a freaking obelisk from Dead Space. It's
Yep.
it's massive, and it can't be, and it's oblong shaped too. It's like on the disk drive, you got like that weird bump on the bottom that it can't
has
be
that
easy to box.
the wonkiest stand that's ever shipped with the console. It's
So it can't
like,
be easy to box PS5s up and lug them around.
Are we
that
going to see a
box-
more aesthetically pleasing PS5 model like in the next few years?
PS5 Slim,
Yeah,
it's probably.
definitely.
They'll
But
call it the PS5 Pro or something.
But the problem is they're still ramping up production of this behemoth, Ozzy. So it's going to be a bit. This reminds me of the PS3. Like it's going to be like 3 years after launch or 4 years after launch that we get like a slim. I think console cycles are expanding to like 8 to 10 years now, and we get these half step upgrades about 5 years in. So in the case of the Switch, that half step was the SWOLED, which didn't add any performance at all. Maybe the half step for PS5 is just a slim that has the same performance at a size that can actually fit in Jabali's carry-on. Like, I think maybe that's going to be their spec that they're shooting for instead of anything. But at the same time, you could just buy some Series X's, which are a little more easy to pack.
They're a little better. Like I'm looking on both right now. Like the Series X is at least, a more manageable size.
It's like a shape that I could put in a box with some packing peanuts pretty easily. Or like to TJ's point, I don't know how the hell you pack up a PS5, and I've had to move mine a couple times and I threw my back out. So yeah, it's heavy. It's big. If you watch our Steam Deck size comparison, but yeah, this is
and like getting back to Street Fighter 6, because this is actually this has actually been a big part of the news cycle, because Capcom, what we're looking at right now on the screen is the supposedly leaked roster, and Capcom didn't deny this was true. Yeah. They actually went out of their way to say sometimes people see things they shouldn't. And so
I'm trying to figure out some of these characters I haven't seen
before. Street Fighter has the worst luck with leaks.
Yeah.
Do you remember when like a bunch of those DLC fighters for 5 like leaked on Steam?
Yep.
Like they have the worst luck when it comes to this sort of thing.
Man, worse than Jeff Keighley getting his One More Thing leaked by PlayStation last week.
That was pretty bad. Okay. Yeah, Broken seemed pretty about that.
Okay, I just want to ask really quick, like, do you guys get like just a little Schadenfreude from that? I'm just curious. Like,
no.
No. Like,
I felt bad for Jeff.
I
did up until he lied about his coffee. Then I
found out he was a filthy liar, and I don't know. I've encountered Jeff several times, and just working in the industry and being invited to some of his events. Judges Week. I definitely had some FOMO, Ozzy, when you and Greg were back together, and I wasn't down there with you guys because us three were the Judges Week crew. That's right. And that felt like a Judges Week kind of event, right? But yeah, no, Jeff's a really hardworking guy, and what he's done for the industry has honestly been deflationary. He has brought the price of promoting your game in June down. And that's why we see so much support from developers. That's why you see increasing support
in a time where every other price is going up.
Yeah, at a time where prices are going up for everything, especially live events, Jeff has provided a lower cost solution. So I don't get the hate for him or Summer. I call it Summer Jeff Fest just for fun, but I know how much time he and his team put in on that, and to have like what would have been a really big announcement spoiled by the company sucks. Like that just sucks. I felt bad for him because there's nothing he could do at that point. That was his One More Thing. They're not going to change the run of show at the last second or anything. Like it sucked.
But pulling it back to the Street Fighter 6 leak, and assuming that based on what Capcom said this is true, what do you make of the roster so far?
It has Blanca.
Yeah, it has Blanca and Honda. Those are my two mains.
2 thumbs up.
Zangief's got pants now.
I saw
That's-
people lamenting on the internet over how Cammy and Zangief have pants.
Man, I don't
I
care.
kind of want to see is Mike Hager on this?
No, they usually save him for the Versus series.
There's a tinfoil hat theory going around on the trailer that showed off Metro City. There's a plaque on the on the statue of him that says "In memory of Mike Hagar."
Yeah, that he's dead.
There's
They killed him?
rumors. And I hope they're not true.
The way they've been unfolding this Final Fight lore over like the last 5 years of Street Fighter has just been really interesting. That whole twist where Cody became the mayor, I was just like,
Yeah,
that's fascinated the hell out of me.
So
After being wrongly imprisoned.
why are you giving us so much Final Fight lore if you're not going to give us Final Fight characters to fight with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
There
don't
are
see
so many
Cody
Final
on
Fight characters
here.
in the background of those stages too.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like enough already. Either give us a new Final Fight or put these Final Fight characters into this game. Like, and it seems like at least Cody is like there, like in that single player universe, which
Yeah.
I'm honestly more. I suck at these games. I suck at every fighting game. I'm interested in that single player, and that's why I bounced off of 5 so quick, because there wasn't a single player experience. But this single player experience interests me a lot, and I'm interested. I want to know more. I'm that gif of I want to know more. Need to know more intensifies.
Here's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't recognize the German dude.
That's Ed from Street Fighter V. He's Balrog's protege.
Okay. And then who is this woman, I think from France?
What's it?
That's Falke.
The pink
Who?
hair?
Falke.
Wait, the one at the bottom. She's a new character. Everyone on that bottom list is a new character.
Okay, that's okay. That's
they're
what I
all
was
new?
trying to figure out.
The theory that people have about that gal right now, the one with the pink hair, is that she has similar gi to Abel in Street Fighter 4, and she's from the same country as him.
Okay, so maybe a sibling or something. And what about this girl? What looks like it's a little small on my screen, but that looks like the Mexican flag. And what is she's holding? Like
definitely looks like a new
highlight.
Weren't there
it's
like 4 characters that are
the
new?
crossness.
Like I said, every one of those characters is new on the bottom. The only ones that we know for certain right now are Jamie, who is on the far left, and then I'm sorry, not Jamie.
What's his name?
I can't remember that guy's name right now.
Let's just
He's
call
the-
him Chad. His name is Chad.
Yeah, he's the Chad.
Luke.
Ken.
Jamie is two spots over, and he was in
Yeah.
the playable demo that that Ozzy got to play.
The
Jamie's a lot of
Drunken
fun.
Master style. I love that. I like the Drunken Master stuff that they have that character doing. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
that's a new Mexican character. The only Mexican characters we've had to this point are El Fuerte, rest in peace, because they won't add him, and T-Hawk, which
Yeah.
she looks like she could be from T-Hawk's tribe.
Yeah.
That could be something. That would be a cool tie-in. This dude with the cane and the jacket.
I will say,
JP.
you look at that bottom row though. I like the diversity there of characters. It's not all a bunch of Cody clones or anything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm stoked to see like different countries represented, different genders represented. Like, it just looks like it's gonna be cool.
DJ's
Yeah.
coming back.
They're shaping up, man.
When was
I'm
the
just
last
gonna say
time
it.
DJ
Even number Street Fighters tend to be good. I'm just gonna say it.
The last
Yeah.
time DJ was in a game was in Ultra Street Fighter 4 as DLC. So
I was
like,
trying to figure out. Yeah.
I love
um,
that Akuma keeps becoming more and more Super Shredder with every incarnation. Like, he just keeps getting bigger.
He is.
Yeah.
His muscles have muscles now. Like,
how
he just
weird is
gets
it?
more jacked.
I've seen theories on this because Capcom sure does love to do their DLC seasons. I was like completely flabbergasted that we didn't get any of the four Kings of Shadaloo. Like no
Right.
Bison, no Vega, no Balrog, no Sagat. But I get the feeling that they're going to hold them as like
They're
a
saving
full Shadaloo DLC pack.
Hell yeah.
Or what if they're
I
just? What if they are the bosses? What if we actually get them as the bosses?
You have to fight them in the single player.
Yeah,
Maybe that's their unlocks or something.
something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah,
That would be cool. But
Yeah.
knowing how they monetize, they're gonna make us buy those characters.
It would
in, like,
probably
a
be a
year.
similar thing where they put Cody, Poison, Guy, and one
Hager.
other Final Fight character in another DLC pack.
Mike Hager.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yep.
Well, I
please
don't
don't
know.
let him be dead, please.
He can't be dead. I don't accept this new future in the single player SF6 yet, but you know, they I thought they handled this leak pretty well.
Mhm.
Uh and I still think like these trailer reveals are going to be hype. I'm curious what they do at Evo now because I thought Evo was going to be the first place that you could have played it, but obviously last
It'll be
week
the
was the
first place
first.
you can play Guile.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
So
they'll
they're going to
probably
do
show off a few extra characters between now and then that you'll be able to play.
but there's got to be some sort of announcement made at Evo. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
either
definitely.
at the end of is it considered a Capcom Cup event still?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, so at the end of the Capcom Cup portion, they should have some awesome trailer to drop. And I just think fighting game trailers are usually very enjoyable. We are now in the post Smash Ultimate world of Evo and of just existing. Go ahead, Ozzy.
I was gonna say, like, I have a feature in me when I come back from vacation about we're gonna get a guest character at some point in Street Fighter 6, I believe, and the fun's gonna be in picking out who's it gonna be. I'm wondering.
Master Chief.
I'm actually wondering if it's gonna be Kazuya from Tekken to kind of pick up
Mhm.
that story from him and Akuma.
Or like
Mm.
Heihachi. Cool.
Yeah. Well,
They should
Heihachi's
have-
allegedly dead. We think. We don't know if he can survive getting thrown into a volcano, but we'll find out.
Yeah, to Denny's point in chat, I would love to see an exhibition of like two of the best players in the world playing Street Fighter 6 against each other. I think that would be cool.
We gotta do Justin and Daigo just for
Yeah.
history's sake.
Mm-hmm. Are they
I
still
think-
doing the MVC2 thing?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
heard.
Yeah, so they'll have some old timers there
Mhm.
that they could bring out. It reminds me of the game that shall not be named, where when they first showed multiplayer at QuakeCon, they turned off the cameras and we got to watch the top 10 players in the world show off that game that can't be named.
Dude, that 1v1 went on forever. That 1v1, let me tell you, I was behind the scenes helping run that broadcast. And I had already like put in like a 12-hour day on like 4 hours.
It was
of sleep.
Rafa. It was Rafa versus Evil. I remember that. That thing went forever.
Yeah, and I was like, I was so angry. I was so tired. Like,
I was just tired. But yeah,
Apologies
E6
to
is
Final
basically
Fantasy.
over. You guys
Yeah,
realize
we're coming up
yeah,
against the
this
last
is
of our
it.
time.
2 minutes to go. Really quickly before we go, I just want to like thank the entire Shacknews staff for the incredible work that they've done the last.
Yeah,
few
what a
weeks.
great job our whole team did.
Like this,
Um,
like E6 was a real team effort this year, and we got some extraordinary content because of it. And then beyond that, everybody worked extremely hard to bring y'all some great coverage of all the Summer Games Fest panels and showcases and things like that. It was no small task to get it all done, and y'all did amazing work and really went above and beyond. I felt so. Please,
Like
if
I
you're in
said-
chat, give a round of applause. to
But
the
yeah,
Shacknews
32
staff.
hours of content created shown over a 4-day period. We've been working on this for months. Shout out to Morgan and Greg for the work they did on the indie showcase. Just tremendous work. If you haven't watched the indie showcase, please go watch the indie showcase. It's outstanding. There's some amazing games there. You should wishlist them. Just thank you to Harry Mack for joining us on to close out day 1. Thank you to all the musicians who have come.
Reed,
Lacey Johnson on day 2. Reed from We Are the Union yesterday with an amazing set. And then tonight we're ending it with Megaran, who's one of my favorite musicians on earth. But also just the people who participated in the event. Thank you to all the devs who took time out of their day to talk to us. This really felt like the booth at E3. This felt like our booth. at E3. The content that we created this week was of a similar quality that we would have brought to people from the show floor of E3 if it existed. And we've been kind of working towards that since we started with E4 into E5 into E6. I feel like we're getting better at this each time we do it. And yeah, shout out to literally everyone on staff. You know, Bill Lavoie organizing things in the background on the editorial side so that we had articles going live. Greg working on the YouTube side of things to make sure that we had VODs ready to go. You know, David for joining us for some of these panels. That Elden Ring panel was great. You know, like the Game of the Mid-Year panel. Denny for doing all these awesome clips and having everything going on social, killing it for that indie showcase day, like getting all those trailers out the door so that we could really signal boost those people. You know, Donovan for losing to Greg in the generational gap challenge. No,
Wow. I missed
it was
that.
hilarious.
Oh,
That was
so
hilarious. It was really funny.
Nice.
But yeah, that was awesome. And he's been kicking butt. We mentioned Greg, Ozzy. Ozzy, you killed it on some of these interviews, man. Really enjoyed your interviews. That Rogue Legacy 2 boss
What a
breakdown,
fun deep dive that was.
so awesome. Yeah, and Marvel Snap yesterday. It's like one of my
Oh
favorite
my god,
interviews.
Greg and I are just going nuts over Marvel stuff like for an hour.
That was awesome. Like that interview was great. Rodney Conyers Jr. for joining us for Sauce Talk. Chef Mike for joining us for Sauce Talk.
Yeah, TJ did a shit ton of interviews, took on a heavy brunt of a lot of the pre-canned content.
Yep. And Sam.
And I was gonna say, and I got a Shredder's Revenge review out this week.
Yeah. And you know, Sam Chandler, you didn't see him on camera much except during some of our interstitial videos, but he was helping on the editorial side of things,
Changed
getting
his
shells
sleep
up.
schedule just to be part
Help
of
us.
the group. Yeah.
Yeah, during E-Week, like a lot of our summer Games Fest coverage came from Sam being there and helping us out and not wanting to leave us hanging. So thank you, Sam, for that. Steve Tominski ending our night with the Steve Tendo show every day of E6. So thank you to Steve for that. And yeah, that's our staff. We're not a really big team. We do big things because we want to. And this was a huge undertaking from the entire team. To Blake's point earlier, it's a huge team effort. If something came up, we had no problem getting each other's backs. This team's awesome. I love this team. Thank you to everyone on the team for what we did this week. It was outstanding. And like Blake said, the coverage last week was also awesome. Yeah, everyone who participated in this has told us already that they would do it again. And we've had that kind of snowball effect for the last few years. I think this was a huge win for the brand of Shacknews this week, and we continue to expand way beyond our own website on the internet, and we're just growing. So it's an exciting time. We do this because I miss E3. I miss what E3 used to be. It was the reason why I got into games journalism, was so I could get to LA. It was the first time I ever went to LA, Ozzy, was going to E3 in the year 2000. So yeah, like back then it was a very different show. We got to witness it change while we had a booth there. 2016 was drastically different than 17 when they opened it to the public. It became a different show, and now it's going to have to become a different show again. We'll see if we'll do E7 at E3 or if we're just going to do E7 and not have to leave the house. The one thing I miss the most is just getting tacos with everyone at the end of the shows like this. But yeah, we're running into the next hour, but I thought we had to end it properly with thanking everyone. Thanking everyone who watched and shared or read the articles or watched us on YouTube. Thank you to everyone for participating in E6. And yeah, I'll confirm it. We're doing an E7.
Hell yeah.
You heard it here first.
Shout outs to our new best friend, Suda51, for a fantastic interview. Limited Run Games, Raw Fury, Snail Games, Whitethorn Games.
And Grinding Gear, the Path of Exile crew, and the Path of Exile community that really turned out. And we're really cool about watching everything else that we've had also. So.
Gearbox SF.
Yeah, literally every single developer, every single publisher who participated, thank you. We've had a really great relationship with some of these PR companies for years now, and it just continues to get better. We really do take the trust that they put in us seriously. We we really take pride in the content we make. We think we've created some really high quality content for over the past months for this show. We're really proud of what we did here. Like I said, 32 hours of content over a 4-day period is more than any of our competitors did.
And
It just is. And it is exactly what we would have done if there was a show floor.
So, yeah, and just really quick, if you like what we did here, please give us a follow or sub here on our Twitch channel. Follow us on our social media channels. Like us on Facebook. We're Shacknews there. We're Shacknews Media on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. We're Shacknews there. Go watch all the videos that we have made over on Gamer Hub Videos and Shacknews Games on our YouTube channels. And, of course, catch all the content. Every single thing that we've churned out is available for you to witness at shacknews.com. And I really hope you check it out because this is amazing freaking content, people. Like,
Also, shout out to Shack Pets over the E6 update that they did.
Shack Pets.
We added buddies to the platform
Yeah.
and filters. It's a drastically different experience now if you haven't tried it yet. So free on iOS and Android. Shack Pets actually presented the entire week of E6.
I was there too.
Yeah.
It was good times. We had
It
a lot of
was.
good times. And we're about to have. Oh man,
Let's-
I feel like
let's-
this is
let's-
for me more than anybody else. We're about to watch. Mega
We're all
Ran
excited about
perform.
this.
We're all going to sit here and watch Mega Ran just tear the roof off of this and end E6. And honestly, I can't think of a better way to end. I've loved these musical performances at the end of the day. It's just been a great way for us to decompress as a staff. And we love seeing all the fans come in here too. So shout out to every